Hey, Matt, happy Tuesday. How are you today?
Doing well. Happy Tuesday, but start of trading week Tuesday. It's a little unique.
Yeah, I thought I was going to enjoy having the day off in the market yesterday. Turns out I did not. I was kind of excited. I wanted to see what was going to happen, right? We're right
Right.
at a pivotal point. There's a lot of really good action, but there's just enough to make you go, I don't know. So I really was excited to see a nice breakout today. Some good follow through from last week's action. Unfortunately, it was a little bit of a dud, but there was still some exciting stuff. So let's just take a look, shall we?
Let's see.
All right. So here's the S&P 500. Technically, it is an all-time high. So it's hard to not get excited about that. It's just the fashion of it was a little bit of ho-hum. It was just kind of a really flat day. And I'm just going to open up the 5-minute chart. A whole lot of nothing. This is the whole day. And then the last 10 minutes, it just, boom, came to life. So that kind of changed the whole character of the session. But nonetheless, it's still an all-time high. We're breaking out into new ground. So let's just see how the other indexes did. Not a great follow through on the NASDAQ, but it is still trading above its VWAP. However, we are starting to see some lively action from small caps and most importantly, the mid caps as well. They're just starting to run into their VWAP. So hopefully we can get some follow through on these guys. And then once they start pushing up, we should start getting into what I like to call an easy money market. I think the reason why there was a lot of sideways, a lot of ho-hum, a lot of nothing going on was there was a little sell-off going on in bonds. So as we mentioned before, it's going to be important for bonds to just chill out. So you can stay in this range, that's fine. But we don't want these to crumble because that'll be a significant weight on the market. Now we normally talk about stocks that have broke out recently that are hitting all-time highs. But today, I want to start off with Meta because it finally broke the streak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We finally got a down arrow, down 2.76%, increasing volume. Obviously, a hell of a run for Meta. Not anything. If you had it, you've probably been taking some profits on the way up. So now it's just kind of hold out, let things run around a little bit and kind of digest this a little bit, hopefully for another move higher. But just some normal profit taking there after that big run, 2.76% hit. Not anything to raise any alarms about yet, but just something to pay attention to.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
Gorilla Technology.
Wow.
I wanted to bring this up as well. A little bit of a downer today. It's opened up. It was up, I think, about 12, maybe 13% at one point. Let's just take a look here.
Boy, those are some very interesting 3 days in a row there.
It is, and you're not wrong. At its high, it was up almost 15%. And then to close down on the day, down close to its lows. It's an outside day. This high is outside of this high. This low is outside of this low. So it's kind of an engulfing candle. Not very bullish, to say the least. So I did lighten up my load on this one. I've been taking profits on the way up, but I did keep a small percentage. But my cost basis, since I've been taking some pretty good gains, is down there pretty low. So I'm just going to let this one ride for a little bit. But I just felt, just out of an abundance of caution, I did take a little bit of profits. Not that I expected to do a round trip, but we are seeing some round trips. So I don't want to let a good 23% gain in 4 days go to waste,
Exactly.
All right. Now let's move on to some new highs. Even though the market was kind of quiet, some leading breakouts from last week continued to just move. We had Samsara just continue to tear. It's just going.
Wow.
AT&T, a tour lifestyle. This one, when I made a comment, I said it was a very subtle. I'm going to move this chart back so everybody can take a look at it here. Just a very subtle, quiet breakout. We'll see if it pops. Sometimes these are pretty explosive, and AT&T has proven to do that. So pretty excited about that. Fortinet, another new all-time high for Fortinet there. Same thing with C Limited. Again, these green arrows are where our algorithm flagged it as a buy. We notify our clients the day before that, hey, this is a time to take a look. And as you can see, that was a pretty good buy signal there for C Limited. Still not as good as Palantir. That was probably the best signal of a. Well, I don't know. I think Axon beat it. Axon was up, I think 30% when it flashed a signal one day. Duolingo, another all-time high for Duolingo, or at least a new high for the rally. Same thing with CrowdStrike. Shift4 Payments, a really good high, a nice spike in volume. Unfortunately, it's an earnings day today. I did take a look, and it's getting hit pretty hard. I think it was trading down around 113. So hopefully you've been taking some profits on that one. But it's always exciting to see a stock hit its highs. Same thing with Palo Alto. Palo, after looking like it was going to fail, just really came roaring back and rolling through. And I believe its earnings were last week. So we should be clear there.
Look at that movement in 3 days right there. Holy cow.
I know. And massive volume. It survived the earnings, sold off. I mean, I love these kind of moves, right? Opens down at the low and then just blasts into the day, and you got a nice solid follow through. So hopefully your shareholders of Palo Alto out there are liking that.
Yeah.
Axon, again, it flashed one of our sell signals just simply off a mathematical basis. But like I said last week, it didn't quite feel like a sell signal, and it is breaking into new high ground there. Since it did flash a sell signal, the algorithm is mark this as a green arrow, so it will pop up again from the algorithm. So we might have another chance to take another position or to add to new positions if we didn't get into that already. StoneX, just quietly, subtly moving up. Interdigital communication, another high after its breakout last week. Same thing with the firm. But as always, I do like to bring up some losers, right? Because not everything goes up, and it's important to protect your capital and cut your losses. ENB is a pretty good example of that. Even though it hasn't flashed a technical algorithm sell signal, the selling on Friday was a pretty clear signal that breakout failed. And as you can see, that continued to follow through. Hope is a good thing, but also it's not good when you're hoping for your stock to come back. So it's always just best to take your loss and move on to some of the stocks that are moving out. Like if you would have bought InnoData, you would have made up 8% of that today. If you would have sold InnoData, or would have bought InnoData and sold ENB on Friday's sell-off, you'd have been going in the right direction. So that's kind of a way how you can manage the signals that we have. You're taking your hit, just move it out and move it into the next one, and you're likely to make it back.
Real quick, Jason, on
yes.
ENB there,
yes.
Can you just make a comment on the difference between those two massive candles that are sell days, one being last Friday, but then the one being looks like about week and a half, 2 weeks earlier than that?
You're talking about this one right here?
Yep. Can you just talk about the difference, how you're open and closed, and why one might be bullish, one might be bearish?
Absolutely. We're gonna make it a little easier and kind of change this to candlesticks. Candlesticks are a little hard for people that don't really know how to read them. So I like to use the bar charts because they're pretty simple, but they're great visuals. And the reason why is because it kind of fills in when there's more sellers in control. So even though the day was down, there was a lot of buying going on. So the stock opened down here, and it continued to rally throughout the day, basically until the session ran out, right? And then you can see that that momentum carry through. This day is a little bit different. It sold off hard. It opened pretty much right at the top instead of at the bottom, and it sold throughout the day. Now, it did manage to come back a little bit, but as you can see, this candle's filled in. It's showing the sellers were still in control. It very well could set a bottom tomorrow. It very well could rally, but it doesn't have that same bullish look like this candle does.
Thank you. I appreciate you throwing that out there. It's one of those little things that as I get deeper and deeper into this, those are kind of the fun little discrepancies that you start to notice and start to really take note of.
Yeah, it's you're right. I mean, what is the difference, and why does a open and a close matter? Well, they do. They kind of show the intraday action, the psychology of what's happening in the market. As far as us, it's a good thing to see that because it had a little bit of a shakeout to it. which is why we ended up getting this snap through, but it just ran into a ball. It ran into a bear, and it's just not ready. I mean, that's all there is to say about that. And then same thing with Cal-Maine. Cal-Maine just if this signal, the buy was right here. If this didn't knock you out, and this should have, right? So you should really not be holding it down here. So hopefully some proper portfolio management got you out on that one. But like I said, it's important to make sure you're cutting your losses and protect yourself, because not all of these breakouts work. So like we're rolling at about 59% right about now. So 6 out of 10, I think is pretty good. But that still means there's four you got to be aware of. All right, so I want to do something a little different today. I want to show you some moves and some watch list stocks. Like any good baseball team, you kind of need a farm system, and the same thing with the market, right? We need a farm system of new potential breakouts. So I want to go through some
great analogy.
Yeah. So I want to show some potential new leaders they're still deep in their base. They're still not anywhere near any actionable, but it's just kind of good to see we've got some potential buying going on underneath. So one of them is Intel. Intel, for some reason or another, is just going on a tear. It's up from 19 to 27, which is about 38% in about 6 sessions, and on just absolutely increasing, crushing volume. Today, I think it traded 278 million shares. Now, when we zoom out a little bit, it's obviously got some work to do, right? So it's just exciting to see stocks start to race off the bottom like this, because it just means that they're going to hit our signal eventually. So the good news is we have a computer program that watches it for us. All we have to do is just look for the stocks that kind of fit our ideas, throw them in, and the computer just lets us know exactly when to buy them. Actually, I need to rephrase that. The market lets us know when to buy them. The algorithm just monitors the market and lets us know when the market tells us when to buy them. So same thing with Supermicro. Nice, big, solid move there, 16% up. But as you can see, it's still in a wicked downtrend, but it's breaking that trend. It's still got a lot of resistance ahead of it. This was a monster stock last year. I actually wrote it from here to about there. Actually, I think I sold it right around there. So that was a pretty big move, nice monster breakout. And then same thing with Micron. We're getting some buying action in Micron. It's an oldie but goodie. But again, it still has some work to do, but it's nice to see the farm team starting to step up a little bit. Astera Labs, same thing, trying to find a bottom. It's working hard. This one is an AI leader. They make cables that speed up data transmission. Sounds rather basic and simple, but in the world of data and AI, faster transmission is important. And these guys, I guess, own quite a market on it. So kind of excited about that.
Speed is king, baby.
What was that?
I said, just like NASCAR, speed is king.
That's right. That's right. And then our freebie of the week, Amberella. It actually quite the nice move. Didn't quite break out yet today, but up 5.6%. So 2 for 2 on our freebies there. I'm not going to brag too much because pride comes before the fall, as I always say. So, but anyhow, it's kind of funny to see that. We want to see a little follow through. It hasn't quite broke out yet, but I have a feeling it will make our potential signals for tomorrow, if not Wednesday. It all depends on where the math is at. And let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Paymentus. It is also potentially finding a bottom here. It's got a little bit of work to do as well, but this is one that we have on the watch list. It was a pretty nice leader last year. So maybe it'll turn around and provide some further support when some of our current leadership goes to take a break, kind of like Meta appears to. Then there were some others as well that I didn't really file. Costco, for example, Walmart, I know we've been following. So these guys have been running for a little while. They're kind of due for a break. We want to see some new guys come into play. But in the meantime, a nice, solid all-time high for the S&P 500. Let's hope we get some good follow through for tomorrow and the rest of the week. I don't think it's a big news week, so it should be pretty much it.
Yeah, that's exciting. A little bit of a condensed week though, so only 3 more days. So we'll see.
Yeah, only 3 more days and until 2 days we got to do all over again. So I love it. I think it's great. I really, I'm not all in yet. I still have some capital sitting on the side. I did sell some losers today. Amazon, for example, I did get rid of. I took some profits in GUR as well. But I did want to move into some of the newer buys that we had today that we will review in our Arrow review for subscribers. So again, if you're not a subscriber, you could please subscribe to our service at www.patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. And for information on our model and how we came up with it and what we do, you can also visit us at VWAPvision.com. Did I miss anything there, Matt?
No, the other thing is just all of our socials. We are on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, basically everywhere that you consume media, we try to be there. And we want to basically give you guys access to what we're looking at and what we're seeing. That's the fun of this. Again, to get the real insider in-depth and some bonus content, you're going to want to subscribe over on Patreon, but hang out with us as we grow this and progress.
Very good. All right, Matt. Well, we'll talk to you in just a couple of minutes. We're going to go over some arrows for the subscribers.
All right. Well, as always, everybody, happy trading.
Happy trading.